Hi everyone, good morning and welcome to today's morning report on Monday the 23rd of March with me, Rich Berry, market analyst at Tech Markets. The European session has got off to a reasonably negative start actually. Nothing too significant that's been the driver of that. I think it's more the fact that this dollar remains very volatile, and once more the volatility has now taken the dollar stronger. Interestingly enough, we've got this dollar index which you've got here across the last few months really. 21-day moving average on the dollar index is interesting. This is that blue line here. Keeps coming back to it and finding support. So that's where we found again the support. And I think that is interesting because not only that, this is on another chart. You've got the RSI, which is sort of back to the 50s level and sort of forming support as well. So it's interesting because this volatility that we've seen in the last few days has not overly done a great deal. I mean, yes, it's just dragged the dollar back to this moving average, but it just seems as though it's just unwound some of the momentum, the oversold momentum on some of these forex pairs. And I'll talk you through the euro and sterling in a bit. But sterling's down by over 100 ticks again, so just continuing this incredible volatility that we've seen, and I think that's just feeding through into the equity markets today. No major news out. You've got the there's a meeting between Alexis Tsipras and Angela Merkel today, which could have add to the volatility because Greece's side of the bargain in terms of meeting the bailout requirements still is just being a bit shady. Really, they're not really adding too much detail to the proposals, so I think that's causing a little bit of concern in the markets, and maybe that's feeding through today. But certainly at the moment you've got these European equity markets down. Interestingly enough, the FTSE is beginning to outperform the DAX and has done over the past few days. DAX is down over 100 points, almost a percent there on the DAX, but the FTSE is only off 15 points, so, and it's also holding above 7,000. There's not a great deal of economic data that we need to be watching out for today. In fact, you've only really got the existing home sales from the States at 2 o'clock this afternoon UK time. The forecast is slightly improved actually to 4.91, but you'll see here that currently we're at a 9-month low on the existing home sales, and that is interesting. And 4.91 wouldn't actually arrest too much of that decline. That would still be below for much of the second half of last year. So even if that was in line with expectations, the existing home sales in the States are still not all that great. And that is again adding to this whole feeling that the US data is maybe not quite as strong as perhaps some had led you to believe. Anyway, that is this afternoon, and it's pretty much the only data we've got to look forward to today, which takes you to my chart of the day. Now, the Kiwi dollar, I think, could be the one chart that is potentially leading a real move against the dollar, the US dollar. What I've got here is you've got this downtrend in place here over the since that July high on the Kiwi dollar that basically started the big sell-off, and it coincided with that big dollar bull run. Now we're breaking that downtrend. We've also seen a poke above, and I say a poke above intraday, on above that 7,600 big figure level, which is a massive resistance actually if you're looking at the big pivot level at 7,600. And it sort of came above that today, but only on an intraday basis, and they've had quite a sharp decline today, intraday. So that sort of has just taken us back below that resistance. The other factor I need to talk about is on this chart. I'm very interested in the RSI here. Again, since this dollar bull run started, the RSI on the Kiwi dollar has not got above 60 ever. It falls over around the mid-50s, and every time it's happened in the last few months, we've seen the selling pressure come back in again. We're now at that level. So if you start to see the Kiwi dollar RSI above 60, it'll be very interesting. Again, it actually, when I wrote my morning report, it was up around 60, but has now just come back to 50, just below 58, as this correction has happened intraday. But it's interesting, if you start to see the Kiwi dollar trading above 76 figure and closing above that, and also a close above 60 on the RSI, maybe see the MACD lines above neutral. These are all things that are just suggesting possible turnaround in the outlook. Also, you've got the 89-hour moving average, this blue line here, which had which caught the high back in January, and it's sort of at that peak again now. So these are all things that if you start to see them turning around, if you start to see the Kiwi trading above 76 figure and holding above it, I think that would suggest that we're beginning to see possible turnaround, certainly in the fortunes of the Kiwi. And this improvement in the Kiwi has certainly come alongside the improvement in the oil price, which we've seen in the last couple of days as well. This is the hourly chart. That's that 76 big figure mark, and it's just had a sharp move above it and then back below today. Interestingly enough, we've now got, if I zoom in here, now got a pivot level around the sort of 75.40 mark, which was the reaction high that we saw last week, and then has been forming as a bit of a low and a support area over the last few hours. So that becomes your key near-term level, 75.40. And I'd be watching out for that as being your basis of support near term. So if that starts to break down again, you could see a correction back towards the old pivot level, which is 74.50 to 75.440 sort of pivot range. As you can see here, sort of provided a bit of a pivot level, 74.40 to 74.50, and that could be where it comes back to. But certainly at the moment on the daily chart, there is an attempt, or has been an attempt, to break out. Not done it yet. You could argue also that it would complete a double bottom base pattern as well if you start trading closing above 76 figures. So lots going on in this Kiwi chart to talk about, and to suggest that perhaps there is beginnings of a turnaround in sentiment on a medium-term basis, but not had the confirmation yet. A lot of these indicators are still yet to confirm. So I wish you good luck in your trading on Kiwi today, and I will speak to you later. Thank you.